And there's three reasons why people come to see me. One is to get out of pain. And number two is to fix the problem that caused the pain in the first place. And three is to really excel and to be at people, for them to be at their optimum, for them to be working at their best level.
Welcome to the Village Chiropractic and Wellness Podcast with your host, Dr. Matt Green. Join us as we explore health, wellness, and the power of chiropractic care to help you live your best life. Let's dive into today's episode.
Well, welcome back, listeners and viewers. Charlie McDermott, producer of the show, here once again with our host, our star, Dr. Matt Green. Dr. Matt, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Looking outside. It's beautiful outside. Thank goodness. It's springtime and we're all feeling it out here. It feels great.
And you're refreshed. You got a little getaway there.
I did. I went to Mexico with my family. It was really great.
Yeah.
So good. So good to have that time to refresh and have lots of sun and lots of time with my people, my little tribe.
Yeah. So nice to do that. Life is too short, as they say, right?
Oh, yeah.
And life is too short to be in pain, right?
Yep. It's a topic. It's the topic here. It's one of the topics.
It's I know your passion to get people out of pain and make them feel better and give them the energy. And today's topic, we're going to demystify chiropractic adjustments, because I know that I'm sure you hear that a lot. What is that? And it's great, for the folks who take that step, see you ask those questions, but there are a lot of people in the background going, I don't know. So we're going to explore that today.
Right. Yeah. And it's so good for us to talk about the adjustment, right? Because it is the primary tool that chiropractors use to bring about positive change. And that first podcast that we did, I felt like we talked a lot about chiropractic, right? Chiropractic care, much more to the broader term. And then our second podcast, we talked about ART, or active release technique, the kind of specialized soft tissue work that I do. But in all these podcasts, we haven't talked about the primary tool that I use as a chiropractor. So we're going to really dive in and really dissect what is that? What is it? What's the chiropractic adjustment?
And what exactly, does that entail, that adjustment?
Yeah. So like I said, the adjustment is the primary tool that chiropractors use. And so what is it? It is the procedure that chiropractors use, and we use primarily our hands or a small instrument called an activator that uses a very controlled and specific and quick force to the joint. And most chiropractors work primarily with the spine, and some do with most of the joints and with all the joints. And so that's me. So I'll not only primarily check the spine, but I'm also looking at the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists and the hips and the knees and the ankles and feet, as well as the jaw. So we're looking at the entire spectrum here. When you are asking me about what the adjustment is and how to explain it and what it entails, I got to tell you, Charlie, honestly, what I really want to say is that the adjustment is a controlled force that stimulates those mechanoreceptors around that spinal joint capsule, that stimulates that proprioceptive input up through the spine to that prefrontal cortex in the brain, that then illuminates that autonomic nervous system shift from that sympathetic nervous system to that parasympathetic mode, so that people can feel at ease in their body. Now, when I got out of school, I lost everybody, because if you could understand that process, then you could understand chiropractic. But people were left with, are you going to take care of my neck pain? Then I shifted and just went really simple. Well, chiropractic can help your neck pain. chiropractic can help your low back pain. But then I felt like there was missing a element of really having a sense of understanding. Like, well, how are you different than a massage therapist? How are you different than a physical therapist? And so, what I really want to do here in this podcast is to strike the middle, hit that sweet spot so that we can make it simplified so that it's easy to understand or easier to understand, but also give it some meat there. I am a research junkie. I loved my research classes in chiropractic school. And when I came out, I did all my continuing education. I always looked for what were the research. I wanted to know what was happening in the research world, because if I knew that, then I knew what was real. So a
Mm.
lot of what I'm going to be saying here is really, it's evidence-based. It's based on um, all that information that I've learned from those seminars.
Yeah, you bring such a wealth of knowledge, and it never ends.
I
Uh,
never, well, right. I
in
have a
fact,
passion for it. I have a real passion
yeah,
for it. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think it's a continuing art to, like, how do I translate that into a way that makes a difference in people's lives?
Well, let's start with the basics. What exactly happens during an adjustment, and what's the primary purpose of it?
Yeah. Yeah. The primary purpose of the adjustment has to do with the purpose of why someone's there to see me. And there's three reasons why people come to see me. One is to get out of pain. And number two is to fix the problem that caused the pain in the first place. And three is to really excel and to be at people, for them to be at their optimum, for them to be working at their best level. So, to put it in that terms is like, I want people to be able to work with ease, pick up their grandkids. Somebody just
Mm,
came in, they said, every time I see my grandkids, they run at me and jump at me. I was like, I want to be able to
yeah,
pick them up and hold them and not worry about my back going out. But I want people to garden. Someone the other day came in and says, I come in here because I want to avoid chaos.
mm,
Because when their back goes out and they don't feel right, the life gets chaotic, because now who's going to do the dishes and the laundry and all the things that need to do with life? So they want to avoid chaos. And other people come in and say, like, I want to feel great. It feels good. It feels good to get adjusted. And so they want to feel good. So the purpose of that adjustment really has to do with, where are they in that cycle of care? Now, for me, my purpose, what I'm looking for, is that I want to correct the way the joints are functioning. I want to correct the way the joints are functioning. The way that some people sometimes see the adjustment happen on YouTube videos or TikTok. I see teenagers. I got two teenagers. I see them, hey, come over here, crack my back. And they turn around and they hold each other and they just kind of apply a force, and they hear the crack.
yeah,
Imagine that sometimes people might see that that's what I'm doing. Just lay on the table, tell me where you have pain, and I'm just going to put my hands on there and just go. And
yeah.
that's not what's happening. What I want to see is, I want to see balance and symmetry. So I'm looking for, where are those joints moving and gliding exactly the way that they're meant to, and where are they stuck, if you will? In
Okay.
which way are they stuck? Are they not rotating? Are they not bending to the side? Is the combination of not rotating, bending to the side? And that's where all the training and all the experience comes from, is to be able to see where that problem is and then adjust, meaning put in that controlled, specific, quick force into that joint to help to remind it where it originally wants to go, or way it originally wants to move. And when it does that, then the brain receives that information and says, that's familiar.
Mm,
That's what I
mm,
want. So then it tells the muscles, hey, everybody, work like normal. Right, left, everybody get together. everybody get along, just everybody move. And then I can feel that underneath my fingers, because a lot of times that happens instantaneously. And when I can feel that change from side to side, and where what was tight loosens and where it was unbalanced starts to bring about balance,
Hmm.
now I know that the brain got the message, and that person is going to feel better. Maybe not right away, but eventually they will. And the confusion is, sometimes it's still confusing. Somebody came in, they'd never seen a chiropractor before. All their pain was on their right side, right, like right below their neck and shoulder, right in that upper back. That's where the pain was. But all the tension and tightness and rib restriction was on the right. So I went over there to start to give that right side attention. And she says, well, why are you on the right side? The pain's on the left. Like I said, my job is to correct the way the joints are functioning. Sometimes the pain is on the same side where the restriction is. Sometimes it's on the opposite side. I'm just following where that restriction is and letting that go, so that then the brain and the nervous system does the rest.
Hmm.
So there's a little bit there on the purpose. What's the
Yeah.
purpose of the adjustment? And again, is to correct the way the joints are functioning. And after that happens, the brain and the nervous system know what to do. We're self-healing mechanisms. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
as things function better, people feel better. So that's the purpose of the adjustment.
Okay. Now you're using that word adjustment all through that explanation. And,
Yeah.
you know, there are different types of adjustments, right? What
Yeah.
would be some of the more common techniques you use?
Oh, sure, sure. Well, if you're talking to other chiropractors, I'm going to say Gonstead Diversified Activator and Drop Table. Now, even sometimes people are very experienced with chiropractors. They might know some of what that means. But if we really had to break it down to the basics, I think most people think about chiropractors as like, are you the one that does the cracking or not? Now, I don't like that word cracking, obviously. It, it has a certain negative connotation, but I would say that I do both.
Hmm.
Someone came in the other day, really scared. Husband said, you have to go see him. She
You
came in and
have
I said, oh, so did you come here because you wanted to, or did your husband pull your ear and make you come here? She's like, well, he made me come here. And she said, listen, I'm really afraid. I'm afraid that you're going to do that cracking thing on my neck. And I said, no problem. I have lots of different techniques to bring about, to correct the way that the joints are functioning. Now, if the body and the mind is willing, then going about that type of adjustment is the quickest way to get there.
Mm.
But, I don't want somebody laying on the table where they're where they're contracted, or they're worried, or they're not able to be at ease. And so I would say that to answer that question, that I do both,
Okay.
and take care of. There's like 120 something registered chiropractic techniques. It's our greatest strength. It's also our greatest weakness, right? It's our greatest
Wow.
strength. Yeah, every practitioner can kind of.
120.
Yeah, but I would say probably like 8 or 9 or 10 that I could like name off. I could probably name practitioners that are around me that do that. So I think that might be a little dramatic. I think I heard that somewhere. I certainly couldn't name more than maybe 10 or 15, but I would say like 8 or 9 that are, you have chiropractors that, specialize in nutrition, chiropractors that specialize in
Yeah.
pediatrics, ones that specialize in sports. So it's very varied. It's also our weakness because, I think the public has trouble kind of having a sense of who we are. So that's our
Yeah.
challenge as a profession.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of here, I would say, just to really make that simple, that's I do both. I do both of
Okay.
those. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't, yeah, I guess, and this is my view, but especially when I first went to a chiropractor, you tend to think that they're kind of all doing the same thing. And, it
Oh,
goes back to the, the cracking, right? It's just,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
But no, I mean, even my experience, the different, as I moved, different chiropractors have different techniques, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Yep.
interesting. So then going back to the woman who was new and
Yeah.
scared, and the fact that there's a lot of folks out there that it's like all things when it's new.
Yeah.
What would you say to that person going in for their first adjustment? What should they expect?
Yeah. That visit is 45 minutes. And for that first about third of that visit, we're going to sit and I'm going to get a sense of where I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to hear their history and I'm going to hear where their symptoms are. What's their subjective experience? What are they experiencing? And most importantly, what is it keeping them from doing? Because when they start to talk about, I can't get out of bed this way, or I can't do this motion, all that information starts to inform where I'm going to begin to become, where am I suspicious of? What are the problems that I'm suspicious of? That next third of that visit is doing an exam. And I have a very research based exam called SFMA, Specific Functional Movement Assessment, comes from an organization called FMS, Functional Movement Systems. These people have done loads of research in terms of the way to be most effective to find the source of the pain as quickly as possible. And so once I'm done with that, then I want to go through the process of explaining the adjustment. Some people come in and say, I've seen chiropractors for years. I'm very familiar. They know, like, I know you do Gonstead, Diversified. They know all the words. It's very
Mhm.
easy for me. I can get a sense of what they're familiar with and I can just begin. But, someone who has never been before, my primary purpose is to put them at ease. I want to hear where their concern is and let them know that they're in the right place and that I hear that concern and I'm going to have that concern right in front of me the entire time. Because I want people to trust me and I want to bring more ease to the body and never less, never less.
Mhm.
And I don't want anybody to ever feel as if there's anything that's a surprise. Yeah, when it comes to the adjustment, when it comes to finances, when it comes to anything, I want that process to be as smooth as possible. I'm a little biased, but I truly am a fan of chiropractic. I've been
Yeah.
adjusting since I was 12 years old, and it's made a huge difference for me personally. So I want people to have that same experience. So yeah, I would say like the things that I'm most attentive to when that person is first coming in is putting them at ease and really making sure to educate them about what this process means and really paying attention to what's most important to them.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So follow up to that, many, and again, sure you hear this all the time, but this
Yeah.
is really helpful. Many people are curious, haven't experienced chiropractic before, and that sensation felt during an adjustment. And
Yeah.
is there discomfort in that?
Uh, yeah, there can be. It would be the same thing as if we're talking, if you were talking to a personal trainer. Hey, you're going to go work out for the first time with a personal trainer. Could there be discomfort? Yeah. We're looking at healthy, but chiropractic is a healthy stress, just like flossing is a healthy stress,
Hmm.
just like lifting weights is a healthy stress, just like fasting is a healthy stress. Sometimes like kind of intense therapy is a
Mhm.
healthy stress. All these are healthy stresses that do sometimes cause discomfort because the body has created a certain pattern that has moved away from what's healthy. And so to change that course back to the healthy course creates change. And the mind and the body uh, sometimes resists change. And so I'm really aware of this and always talking with people about I want to hit the sweet spot. I
Yeah.
want to do enough so that I create change, but I also want to do the least amount so that they're fairly comfortable, so that they can breathe through the experience and come the other way and say, "Hey, that was impactful."
Yeah. Yeah.
But in never, ever, ever do I ever am feeling always feeling underneath my hands. Would I ever adjust somebody if I felt like they were guarding? if they were like getting ready for it, like
fighting against it.
no, it would never.
Yeah.
That's going against
Yeah.
everything that we're about. We're about bringing more ease and never less. But I would say 80% of the people that come back after that first adjustment say, I feel better. Because I say, hey, did you feel better? Did you feel worse? Or did you feel about the same? And they about 80% of them say like, I feel better. 10% say like, still about the same. And probably about 10% say like, I didn't feel too good. Like right after, like I felt real sore. But I'm certainly prepping them for that. Like before I even adjust them, I say, hey, I want to let you know that you could feel a little worse, and B, could feel about the same, and C, hey, you could walk out of here feeling lighter and feeling great. So when they come back, it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
I've prepped them and let them know.
I'll tell you, I'm definitely one of those feeling lighter and great. Boy,
Yeah.
I just love getting adjusted because
Me too. I come out and I feel like my feet are like grounded and my head is lifted, and I feel centered. And I notice a lot, I mean, with myself, but with other people, like as soon as that first adjustment comes, that next breath comes, and there's more breath, there's more ease, there's more lightness, there's more space. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Like I said, I'm a fan.
Me as well. All right, let's talk safety again. I'm sure you hear this a lot, but how do you ensure that the adjustments are performed safely?
Sure. I think a lot of it comes from that first third of that first visit where I'm collecting information. Somebody comes in and says like, hey, I was just in a major car accident. Is going to be a lot different than, hey, I'm training for a half Ironman. And I got the little bit of soreness here or there. I'm going to approach those very differently. It does not happen that often, but every once in a while, I just get a sense that I cannot adjust that person before we get some kind of imaging. And so it happens two ways. One, we have something called NorCal imaging. It's right by our office. I fill out a little form, I hand it to them, and it's a walk-in clinic. They walk in there. They can bill people's insurance. And if you have an HMO, then I send them to their doctor or Kaiser or such. So that's a very easy process for me to lead people down that road so that then they can get imaging. Sometimes it's really comforting for people for me to ask that. Then they come back to like, hey, I'm really glad that you asked for that first. And it puts their mind at ease. But for a majority of people, between what they tell me and how I feel and my sense, I can get a sense of whether that body is ready to be adjusted. And two, when I told this to somebody, they said, oh, that makes so much sense. The adjustment is about, like I was saying before, is about me figuring out what we call line of drive, or what direction that joint naturally already wants to go. So I'm just moving it in the way that the body already wants to know or already wants to go. And so it's not, again, sometimes I imagine the picture is I find it, where's the pain, put my hands on and just go. And that's not what happens. I'm feeling exactly where it wants to go. And that's probably why you have that sensation, why I have that sensation after getting adjusted. It's like, oh, now my body feels where it's back to where it wants to be. I don't know what else. So, probably then the other way that I ensure that it's safe is that there's no way I'm going to adjust somebody unless I feel them breathing in, breathing out. A lot of times every time I have them before I put my hands on them, I tell them like, here's how to get adjusted. Wherever my hand is, I want you to imagine that your breath is pushing my hands up and away, and you're expanding that area up. And as you exhale, you just let that air fall out and you let everything get heavy. You're sinking into the tables. You're breathing in, you're expanding, you're opening, you're expanding, opening, you're exhaling. Everything's heavy. And if somebody can't do that, I'm not adjusting them.
You're relaxing me as you talk.
Yeah.
You have a very relaxing voice and way about it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Well, I feel like it's important for me to guide people in that direction. So the word floppy, I found the word floppy. It's universal. When I want people to like let go, I say, just let this area just get floppy. And everyone's like,
Hmm.
boom, drop. I've tried relax. I've tried so many different things.
Yeah.
So when people are sometimes like, well, I'm not quite sure what to do, I said, this is your time to perfect your art of floppiness.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
So,
Yeah. Floppy
yeah,
doesn't get enough use nowadays. It used to get used all the time
I'm bringing it
decades ago
back.
with floppy disk. Yeah.
I'm back. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. See, I'm bringing it back. So
Love it.
I
Love it.
just think that then there just has to be an element of trust.
Yeah.
You gotta just trust me. And I think, yeah. So there it is.
Good point. Good point. So with all your years of experience and the countless patients that you've worked with and helped get back to health, what have you found? I mean, what types of conditions have you found are most effectively treated with chiropractic?
Well, why my real answer to that is, Charlie, what do you think? What symptoms, what things do you think would benefit from your system shifting from its fight or flight, contracted, protective mode to its relaxed, at ease, everything functioning normally, healing mode? Which mode would you rather be in? What do you think sciatica would be better at
Yeah.
during the protective mode or your relaxed healing mode, right? So
Yeah.
it's very general. Now, that doesn't really speak to people. When I'm listening for, hey, who's going to help me? I want to hear the exact thing that I'm experiencing, so I can
Mhm.
appreciate that. Anything, especially like neck pain, especially all the way up at the top, or like right behind the ears, right there. Um, that kind of neck pain, headaches, the upper back pain, shoulder pain, rotator cuff injuries,
Mm.
things that don't allow people to swim or play tennis or golf. That upper back, things that are restrictive to when people can't take a deep breath. What we call antalgic lean, when somebody is like shifted to the side, feels like their whole
Yeah.
torso shifted to the side. Scoliosis, any kind of like low back pain that's going down into the buttocks, obviously sciatica, carpal tunnel, any kind of like neurological symptoms that are coming into very specific fingers, like into these or into the middle finger or into
Yeah.
these fingers. Any kind of like hip pain, like deep into the buttocks pain, knee issues, especially on the outside or right down the middle. And then any kind of like plantar fasciitis, knee, ankle, ankle or foot issues, and then any kind of problems with the jaw.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
I just went through the body there, but those are the typical
Yeah.
things that
Yeah.
people come in with.
So I'm just curious. Again, back to you've worked with so many over the years. Anyone come to mind that they came in for a certain condition? They had pain in a certain area,
Yeah.
but then after working with them, they said, "You know what, doc? This also cleared up," and they
Sleeping,
maybe didn't even mention it to you.
sleeping almost every time.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. People say like, well, I came in for this, but like, you know what, last night, because I say it too. And I said, hey, you might feel a little worse, like if you haven't flossed your teeth for a while, like your gums are kind of
yeah,
sore, right? Or you
yeah.
might not feel any difference at all. Or you could feel lighter and I say like your neck can pain. And then I always say, and you might sleep better too. And people almost always come back and say like, you know what, that started to feel better, but you're right. I slept
Hmm.
better last night.
How
That's
about
the
that?
most that's the one that I'm gonna expect people to say, and that they almost always do. Because you can imagine when your nervous system shifts from its fight or flight tight mode back into its easy mode, it's easier to sleep
Yeah.
and easier to concentrate.
How about that? That's a good one.
Hmm.
So, final thoughts. Someone considering chiropractic for the first time, what's
Yeah.
your advice?
Well, if they're in my area, I mean, just to be straight, it's to trust me.
Yeah.
Just to trust me. I've been doing this for 22 years. I love it. It makes total sense to me. It's super important to me to put people at ease. I have a great time. I mean, I'm dealing with some like sometimes pretty serious issues, But boy, if you're a fly on the wall in my office, I'm smiling and laughing a lot. My space is great, and I have amazing employees. We did a podcast with Katie, my office manager. You could listen to that one and to hear like how tight our procedures are. We worked really hard to bring a very seamless process from beginning to end. Not I'm doing that in the room, but also we've worked hard to have that experience all the way through. That experience it's a rocking place. Village Chiropractic and Wellness Center. Woo!
So go ahead and fill everyone in, Dr. Matt. How can they find you and get in touch?
Yeah, sure. Our website is villagechiropracticoakland.com. It's right down there on the screen. And for those of you who are listening, you can reach our office at 510-281-1708. Again, I think it's a pretty seamless process to go to our website, click book an appointment, and it makes it really easy to get yourself and find yourself a time.
All right. Well, get on over there. Those of you living in the Oakland area, you'll feel just like Dr. Matt and I said, boy, once you go through the process, it is like, do you ever get people like coming back, like they see you in the morning, you feel so great. Can I get back this afternoon? Or maybe they never leave.
They never leave. I want my cot right over here. I'm moving in.
Well, hey, Dr. Matt, this was awesome. Again,
thanks, Charlie,
for sharing your experience and helping.
Yeah. Well, you're a great host. You ask great questions. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, until next time, I assume you're gonna hang in the area for a bit. No more trips planned in the near future.
Yeah, here and there. Got to keep myself healthy. Right. Got to keep myself healthy. But yeah, no larger trips coming up. So yeah, I'll be here.
Can't wait. Can't wait to hear about it. All right.
Yep.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Charlie. All right.
Thanks for tuning in to the Village Chiropractic and Wellness Podcast with Dr. Matt Green. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit our website at villagechiropracticoakland.com or call us at 510-281-1708. Stay well, and we'll see you next time.